Alright, hey guys, welcome to this session by Great Learning. My name is Anirudh Rao and I welcome you all for this session on Python for data science. Now, Python is such a fascinating programming language and data science is one among the top domains today. So we have a lot to discuss in terms of this. We're going to discuss the agenda soon, but before we get to the agenda and all of the discussions, this is going to be a very interesting session. Let's keep it highly energetic, let's keep it highly interactive and more, guys. Now, before we go ahead and check out the agenda, as I just said, can you guys quickly head to the chat box and type in a quick yes or a no? If you can hear me fine and if you can see me fine, just give me a confirmation if my screen is visible to you all and if my audio is clear for you all, right? Guys, quickly head to the chat box and do that. Now, while you guys go on to the chat box and give me a confirmation, while you guys go on to do that, I'm going to tell you that I'm monitoring all of your questions or comments or whatever it is using my mobile phone, guys. So whatever questions you're going to put, I'm going to try to answer each and every one of them. So no matter what questions you have, even the most simple questions, even the most basic questions, please head to the comment section, put them down in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer them, right? Perfect. Now I do have a couple of people acknowledging it. Moideen, Pranil, Anshu, Aishwarya. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, perfect. So we have a lot of people tuning in today. I welcome you all to this particular session by Great Learning. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Bengaluru. It's a cloudy afternoon. We're gonna have a fantastic session on Python for data science. We're gonna check out theory and we're gonna check out a bit of practical hands-on code as well. Right, guys? So I hope all of you all are as excited as I am. Now, before we jump into the agenda of the session, I'm gonna take a minute of your time to guide you about this fantastic venture we have here at Great Learning called as Great Learning Academy. Now, to talk to you about Great Learning Academy quickly, I can start with one important thing. Regardless of where you are in your career right now, right? You're in school, you're in college, you're about to graduate, you just graduated and you're looking for a job or you're looking for a job switch. If you fall into any of these categories, basically that talks about everyone, right? So I promise you that we have something here at Great Learning Academy that will cater to all of you all, right? So we have many things here at Great Learning Academy. We provide 200 plus courses taught by subject matter experts, and each of these courses have you also get a certificate of completion absolutely free of cost as well, right? And we've come up with a program called as Career Plus. Career Plus is a fantastic program which will help you guys land your first job. If you guys are 2020 and 2021 graduates, I highly suggest you check out Career Plus in detail. Now, guys, I want all of you all to enroll into Great Learning Academy. I'm sure most of our viewers today, you guys have already enrolled into it and you guys are already doing courses. You're giving us wonderful feedback about all of the courses and more. So if you guys have not checked out Great Learning Academy yet, make sure you guys do that. Right now, this is a fantastic part where we're going to discuss a career path. Now, if you're watching this video, I am very sure that either you're very much interested into data science, Python, a career in data science, or you're an enthusiast, right? But then most importantly, I am sure you might be a person who's looking for a job in this amazing domain of data science, right? So if you're talking about the career path of a data scientist, right, how to become a data scientist, if you're talking about that, look at the stats on your screen right now. There's somewhere around 100,000 jobs in India. 7 lakhs per annum is the average salary, and we have somewhere around 5 lakhs plus learners who are enrolled into our job ready programs out here, right? So we have 8,000 plus career transitions and an average salary hike of 50% after people take a look at our specializations and our PG programs. Don't worry, at the end of the session I'm going to walk you through this to a good amount of detail, right? So our goal here is to make sure you guys go from beginners to being thorough experts in the field of data science, Python, or whatever it is, right? So we're going to do that in detail at the end of this particular session. This is a 1 hour session, so make sure you guys stick around, right? But then to get to the part where you guys look towards specialization, it always adds value if you get started with your journey with some free courses that we are providing, right? You can see on your screen right now, we are providing multiple free courses, right? Somewhere around 25-30 free courses just for data science. Now, if I just click on one of these things, data science fundamentals, for example, this is an extremely popular course we have here at Great Learning Academy. Again, this is completely free for all of you all. who are joining in right now, so you can read about the details about the course, what are the skills covered, everything regarding the syllabus, the course certificate as well, right? So you get a certificate of completion which looks like this. Now at the end of the day, you guys should know that a certificate of completion is going to add a ton of value to not only your knowledge but also your resume, LinkedIn profile, whatever it is, right? So guys, I want all of you all to check out Great Learning Academy. There are so many things that you can learn from this. You can understand career paths. You can check out the 200 plus courses we offer in multiple different languages, again all taught by thorough experts, professionals, subject matter experts, right guys? Perfect. Now you can reach the Great Learning Academy via multiple places. The first would be the most simplest one is to just go to the website greatlearning.in/academy. But then if you guys, I know that all of you all who are tuning in, you guys love tuning in from your mobile phones and all of that. So if you guys are tuning in from your mobile phones as well, you can join us by downloading the Great Learning app as well. The Great Learning app is available both on the Google Play Store and of course on the Apple App Store as well. Perfect guys. With this, I hope all of you all head to the comment section and tell me if you guys are enrolled into Great Learning Academy or not. If you have not yet done it, please make sure to do it, because at the end of the day, we are trying to provide the highest quality of learning material so that all of you all can learn and upskill yourselves. And as always, I definitely want to see more of you all give us wonderful feedback after your learning, right guys? Perfect. On that note, guys, welcome to the session again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Great Learning YouTube channel, and whenever you subscribe, right, there's a bell. Hit that bell, because whenever you hit the bell icon, I'll tell you this, the most fascinating thing about it is that as soon as we put out a video or as soon as we go live, you guys will be the first ones to ever get notified about it. So you can immediately join, be it from your mobile phones, be it on your computers, laptops, TVs, or whatever it is, right? So guys, that's an important thing. I want all of you all, if you haven't subscribed to the Great Learning YouTube channel, make sure you do. Now throughout the session, I'll be talking to you about the importance of why you guys should subscribe as well. So guys, without further ado, let us get started, right? Perfect. Now guys, coming to the agenda of this particular session, what are the takeaways? What are we learning in this particular session? First of all, what we're trying to cover is we're trying to understand Python in terms of data science, right? So we'll have to quickly understand why even Python. There are so many programming languages out there. Why do we have to learn Python, right? So we're going to check that out in detail. After that, we can cover all the skills that are required for you to start learning Python in terms of data science. Now, Python is used in a lot of different domains, as you'll find out, but in this particular case, we'll see what are the skills that are especially needed for data science. Once you understand the skills that are needed, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a quick introduction to understand what data science is and how Python aligns itself towards this domain of data science, right? Once you know that, you'll be very much interested, I am sure, to take a look at, hey, okay, so now I know Python and data science, how can I go ahead and use these libraries, the data science libraries that are present in Python? We're going to take a look at that as well. And at the end of the session, I am going to be practically walking you through a real life use case, a fantastic use case, where we're going to be using Python. We're going to be solving, really simple stuff. At the end of the day, the problem statement is very complex, but you'll see that with the help of Python, we can simplify it down and solve all of it in a fantastic manner. I'm sure each and every one of you all who are tuned in right now, all of you all can follow along with this session, right? Perfect. Okay, I do see a lot of a lot of messages from you guys. As always, make sure to keep this session highly energetic and highly interactive. It's always going to help if you keep asking your questions. Any doubts that you might have, I'll be more than happy to answer that. Right? Perfect. Before we get into the first item on the agenda, let us quickly discuss a did you know. I am sure that the subheading is something you already know at this moment of time, right? Python is one of the most popular programming language that we have in the world today. Why is that? We're going to discuss in the next section. But when you're thinking about Python itself, right? In fact, right now we're using a product of Python. How many of you all have tuned in from Mozilla Firefox, the browser, right? Mozilla Firefox. If you're using Firefox right now, be it in your phone, be it on your computer or anything like that, and even a part of Google Chrome as well, the code which is used to make sure that Google Chrome and Firefox works well is written in Python itself. How amazing is that? Firefox has somewhere around 220,000 lines of code which is written in Python, which makes Firefox work. How fantastic is that, right? Perfect. The next thing is, whenever we talk about Python, it's always easy to get the name confused with that of the snake, if you're familiar, right? There's a snake called Python as well, a fantastic. I absolutely love snakes. Now, when you're taking a look at it, the programming language wasn't named after the snake. It was named after a favorite TV show by the founder. The founder of Python is Guido van Rossum. He's an amazing guy. So he named it after a favorite TV show. The TV show was called as Monty's Python Circus, right? It was a TV show way back in the 60s and the 70s, and Guido wanted to pay a tribute to it, so he just named the programming language as Python based on his TV show, right? Perfect. The next thing is that, yes, of course, you would already know this, Python is one of the most preferred programming languages that we have in the world today for data science. Of course, there's other languages as well. We can discuss that too. Then, when you take a look at the last 2 points, it is very important for all of you all at this moment of time to understand that Python is used by 9 out of 10 companies in the entire world out there. How amazing is that, right? How many companies are there right now? Individuals, entrepreneurs, small scale companies, mid-tier companies, multinational corporations, right? Everyone across the world use Python in one way or another, and even if they don't write Python code directly, they use a product that is built on top of Python. That is the huge stretch, the expanse of Python in today's world. That's a fantastic thing. And this, at the end of the day, is very much advantageous to all of you all. I'll tell you why. Think about all the jobs that will be constantly created knowing that everyone wants to use Python in one way or another, be it web development, game development, even in the case of healthcare. Think about any domain that comes into your mind. Python will have a library, or Python will have something to do in that domain as well. So there is always fantastic jobs, really high paying jobs, and the best part is, there is always a constant requirement. So for all of you all who are looking forward to applying for a job in Python or Python data science, you guys are in for a treat, because right now everyone is hiring on a rapid scale, right? Perfect, guys. There is slight noise in the background for 2 seconds. I think it's a hawker or a vegetable vendor. Let me give that person a second to pass so that you guys don't have any interference with the video, right? Okay, perfect. So the background noise is now gone, so we can get started with the first item on the agenda, which is about why we guys have to learn Python, right? Python is a fantastic programming language. Since we are discussing about data science, let us align our learning to take a look at why we have to learn Python for data science, right? First of all, when Python was created, when Python was written, data science was already on the rise. So Python is almost purpose built, right? So if you have a lock and a key, and you know that the key will get into the lock, right? So the key is, it has a purpose to open the lock. Similarly, Python had a purpose of how best you can go on to use use all the things of, the tools, the techniques that are present in the domain of data science, and how best can you simplify it so that each and every one of us, right? See, Python, when it came out, and data science, when the domain, when it was becoming really famous, it was only used by researchers and scientists. Now if you take a look at it, literally everyone across the globe know what Python is, or know what data science might be as well, right? So it has come to this point because of the fact that the co-founder of Python, or the creator of Python, ensured that at the end of the day everyone can have a simple way to do programming, and it was purpose built so that it can use all of the modern computing power that we have today to help us have better data science solutions, right? Perfect. Now guys, an interesting thing that you really have to know about Python is one such programming language where even if you have a small problem, it will work beautifully fine. If you have a really large problem, again it will work beautifully fine, right? Why? Well, first of all, scalability is the guiding factor for Python, as in no matter the size of your solution, no matter the size of your problem, when you're implementing it via Python, you really don't feel that strain of having or using a programming language which feels really difficult to use or anything like that, right? No. If you're solving a small problem, works. If you're solving a really big problem, then also it works, but you do not feel the stress or the strain of solving a huge problem, right? Because it can get complex, but with Python it does not get complex. That is the huge advantage, guys. Right, perfect. Now when we're talking about all the points that you see on your screen right now, first point should not come as a surprise to any of you all. Python is the #1 programming language today because it is very easy to learn, and it's not just easy to learn, it's how you can implement it to solve beautiful problems as well. Now that's one thing. The second thing, as I just mentioned, is that Python is built for dynamism, right? So today you have a small problem, tomorrow you'll have a large problem, it will work fine. I'm reiterating on that fact. Point number 3 states Python is an open source programming language, right? So you really do not have to pay, the creator of Python. You really do not have to pay anyone to go on to use Python. It's totally free. It is backed by a community of hundreds of thousands of people, lakhs and lakhs of developers who are in fact doing everything they can for free to even improve the programming language itself. It's a really beautiful community, and when you guys go on to start learning it and start solving problems and all of that, I am very, very sure that no matter if you're a complete beginner or a thorough expert, you guys will be welcomed really nicely in the Python community that we have, right? Everyone is super friendly in this community. Now, quickly to talk about the last point, you'll see that it's written as an interpreted language. What do I mean when I say interpreted language, right? Let's talk about another programming language for a second here. When you're thinking about another programming language, think about C for a moment, right? There is a good chance you might have learned it in school. If you haven't, no worries. Whenever you write maybe 5 or 6 lines of code or even the most simple program, there is a process called as compilation. It has to be compiled first, meaning that there has to be 0 errors in your entire program, and only then will it work. Only then will it execute. Even if there's a small error, it will absolutely not work. Okay? Now, with Python, the advantage is that wherever there is error, maybe you've written 10 lines of code, on the 10th line there is an error, right? Everything will execute absolutely fine until line number 1 to 9, and as soon as it gets to line number 10, it realizes that hey, okay, there's a small error, and it will tell you the error so that you can solve it, and then you can rerun it and it will work fine, right? It's not like it will say, hey, no, there is an error on line number 10, until you fix that, I will never run this program. No, that will not happen. I gave you a simple example of 10 lines of code. Now imagine if there were 20,000 or 30,000 lines of code, right? If nothing works until you fix everything, that is a pretty complex issue to have, right? Python solves that in a fantastic way. And when you're talking about Python, for data science itself, it has a huge library. It has thousands of libraries which at the end of the day will make sure you can solve your task really easy and in a fast manner as well, right? We're going to discuss about these libraries in the next section as well. But as I told you, we have a large community, a fantastic community, and I want all of you all, and I'm confident in fact that all of you all who are tuned into this session, you guys can become experts in Python for data science as well, right? Perfect. The third point says easy to read syntax. Of course, Python, if you guys know how to read and write English, I am confident that all of you all can write Python syntax as well. It is very simple. It is very straightforward. It does not take a lot of effort to do it as well, guys. So it's a fantastic programming language. If this is your first programming language, it's going to be really fun for you all to learn, right? Perfect. The last point says it's a strongly typed language. Again, let's quickly talk a second about another programming language, maybe like C or C++. In those programming languages, what happens is that as soon as you are trying to input any data, you're outputting any data, especially input, you have to specify the type of data that you're providing, right? It might be a number, it might be a decimal point, it can be 4.7, it can be 3.4, anything that you will input into it, you have to tell the programming language, hey, this is the type of data that I'm giving to you. But in Python, if you call it a strongly typed programming language, you just give the data to it, and Python has the knowledge to understand what you have given. If you type in 3 or 4 or anything like that, it will understand that it's an integer. If you type 5.6, 7.8, 3.14, whatever, all these numbers, it will know that this is a floating point number, and it will automatically assign the data type, right? How fantastic is this? So this is an important thing I want all of you all to understand. This is a huge advantage for data science especially, right? Perfect. Now, to talk about a last point of why we really have to consider Python for data science is that whenever you go on to learn anything about data science, whenever you try to even understand what data science is, you will realize there's only 2 programming languages which come into the picture, right? Python, and there's another fantastic language called as R programming language. So Python and R really take center stage, and there are so many reasons for it, right? In fact, whenever we're discussing the practical aspect, whenever I'm showing you the demo, you yourself, guys, you will realize about why Python is so easy to understand, and I hope you guys are really excited to get to the demo part as well, right? But then, before we go on to get to the demo, before we talk about things practically, we have to first of all understand what are some of the really important skills that you guys must have if you're taking a look at maybe having a career as a Python developer in data science, or maybe becoming a data scientist, data analyst, or whatever it is, right? It's important. Guys, now when we talk about skills, usually you can talk about 10-15 skills and you can keep talking about it and working on it, but at the end of the day my point here is to make sure that you understand the very important skills which might not be discussed by a lot of people out there. These are the ones that you guys should be working on. These are the most important ones which govern the other skills as well, right? First of all, you require out of the box thinking if you want to become a programmer in terms of Python or data science, because you have to know that if there is a problem, Python can solve the problem for sure, but is it only one way that Python can solve the problem? No, right? If there is a problem, you can solve it in many different ways. So similarly, you have to kind of have that thinking to know that, hey, this is my problem. I want to use data science. I'm using Python to solve it, but can I do it in another way? Can I, that thinking itself will definitely help you guys. If you, guys are still in school or college and if you're watching this thinking, if you start shaping it up really early, as soon as while you're hunting for your first job, as soon as you graduate, you guys will find it really easily, because it's very impressive for interviewers to find people who can actually solve a problem in multiple different ways, right? So that's an important thing, guys. The second thing is data oriented approach. Of course, if you're looking at data science, you have to be a fan of data. If you when I say fan of data, what I mean is that as soon as you look at data, you have to know that there is so many things that you can find out from that particular data, right? So you have to have an interest, you have to have a passion, you have to have a calling towards data, or to know that you can derive something beautiful, you can create a beautiful analytics report, machine learning algorithm and artificial intelligence powered entity or whatever it is at the end of the day using data. So you have to align yourself in a way where you really like working with data, and only then it becomes possible to give your 100% in this domain, right? Perfect. Look at the third point on your screen. It says ability to scale up solutions. What I mean by that is exactly what we already discussed, right? So today you're working on a small solution. Tomorrow, if you have to work on a big project, you have to have the skills to do it, because Python already has everything that's needed to work on either a small or a big project. But you as a developer needs to scale up. You need to learn new things, new tools. You have to be effective at that, right? And of course, the last thing is logic building skills. I've seen amazing programmers in today's world. I do have a couple of friends, right? So they might not be extremely good at writing the code itself or writing the syntax, but when you think about finding out the logic to solve the problem, these guys are absolutely amazing. All of them work in multinational corporations, couple of researchers, couple of PhDs, but yes, that kind of a thinking is really required, right? You can be a fantastic programmer even if you can just write amazing logic. Converting this logic into syntax does not require a lot of knowledge. The logic is where you have to think, you have to make your mind work, you have to be creative to solve the problem. So I suggest all of you all really work on your logic building skills as well, right? Perfect. Now guys, coming to a section where we can discuss about how you guys can get started with the domain of data science itself, right? Now, for all of you all to get started with data science completely, I highly suggest you guys check out the videos that we have here on the Great Learning YouTube channel. We have, in fact, I've created a 11-hour data science course for all of you all as well. I am sure the person moderating this chat will give you a link to the 11-hour course. Make sure you bookmark that. Make sure you watch that after this session, because that will completely take you from being a total beginner. It's an 11-hour course, so it's packed with data. It's packed with high quality information that you guys can use to learn. Now, that being said, whenever you're taking a look at learning data science, for all of you beginners out there, you really have to understand one important thing. Data science is one among the top 10 careers that we have in the entire world today. If you take a look at top jobs around the world, a data scientist's role is always at number 1, number 2, or number 3, depending on which other domain you're comparing it to. So it is not just the most trending IT career of all time, it is the most trending computer science career of all time. How amazing is that, right? So for the entire domain of computer science, there is nothing that beats data science as of now. So if you guys are looking for a job which will pay you really high salaries, and of course that you can find amazing salary hikes, you can enjoy your job, you can solve a lot of problems, and knowing that you're contributing back to the world, that it doesn't get better than data science for all of you all, right? Perfect, guys. Now to quickly talk to you all about data science and how you guys can take a look at understanding it, or maybe that you might be interested in data science but you're already using data science. Let me tell you that, right? I'll give you a quick example of shopping. Now I am sure that all of you all have either shopped on Amazon, Flipkart, or if you guys are tuning in from other countries, Walmart, or whatever is your online e-commerce site. I'm sure you guys will know it, right? In India, it's two popular guys are Amazon and Flipkart. Now, whenever you go on to buy something on Amazon or Flipkart, as soon as you add an item to the cart, right? Maybe like a shoe. If you wanna buy a new shoe, you saw a beautiful shoe, you put that in your cart. As soon as you add it to your cart, there will be another option that says, "Hey, people who bought this shoe also bought socks." Something like that, right? When you buy a mobile, it will suggest a tempered glass. When you buy a shoe, it will give you a sock. When you buy a book, it will give you a pen. It knows that, hey, when people buy this, they also want to buy that. It is recommending things to you. And as in when you search things on Amazon, it remembers what you're searching also. For example, if you're a person who bought a new bike or a new car, if you constantly keep searching for bike accessories, right, you'll start seeing bike accessories advertisements literally on Google, on Amazon, everywhere you go, because these are the products that you would want to buy, and Amazon, Flipkart, Walmart, they're trying to make sure that you guys can buy it in a more convenient way as well, right? So how do you think product recommendations work? All of this again work completely on the basis of data science. So even though you might not be the person who's writing the code at the end of the day here, but every single day, every time you say hey Google, every time you say hey Siri, or hey Alexa, or anything like that, you will go on to use data science in a fantastic way. How amazing is this, right? In fact, I'll give you one more example to talk about data science as well. Let's talk about Netflix for a second, right? I am sure Netflix, Amazon Prime, Z5, all of these things are extremely popular online TV show watching platforms, media platforms. Think about watching movies, TV shows, documentaries, docu-series, whatever it is, right? During the lockdown, during this 1 year, I definitely have found myself watching a lot of Netflix after work or anything like that, or over the weekends or something, right? Netflix also uses data science. Netflix also uses Python. And if you think that, hey, there is only a small part of Netflix that uses Python, you are absolutely wrong there, because I'll tell you this. Netflix, it uses data science to such an extent that it has a very, very, very intelligent artificial intelligence based recommendation system and a bot sitting there at the back end to make sure that it is showing you the highest quality of content possible for you all to watch, right? That is the reason you feel really comfortable going on Netflix and binge watching your TV shows or something like that. After you finish a TV show as well, it'll recommend another beautiful show for you, right? How do you think all of these works? There is so much to talk about it. I want you all to in fact, guys, head to the comment section. Let's interact a little bit on this, right? So what is your favorite TV show or movie that you guys have watched on Netflix recently, right? Head to the comment section and let me know. Mehul Patel says it's available in Hindi or not. Well, Mehul, if you're asking about if this session is in Hindi or not, no, this is a session that's completely in English. But of course, I can redirect your request to the team and we can have a session on this in Hindi as well, right? Perfect. Kashyap says association. Yes, Kashyap, you are absolutely right. Clustering and association. I see that you remember it from our previous session as well, right? Perfect. Now, alright guys, I'm still waiting for your questions down there. If you have any questions, head to the comment section, just put it down. Fatima says, will you get a certificate for all the participants? Well, Fatima, you definitely will get a certificate when you enroll into all of the certificate of completion, when you enroll into all the courses that we have at Great Learning Academy. So make sure you check out Great Learning Academy and enroll into there, right? Perfect. Okay, a lot of you all are telling me Money Heist, Lucifer. Okay, superb guys, that's really nice. There's a person in the comment section who says, sir, I can't enroll. Well, we do have a person moderating our chat. We do have an expert monitoring the chat. He or she definitely can help you out on that, right? Perfect guys. Now I have to talk to you about an interesting thing before we move ahead into understanding the Python libraries that we have. First of all, data science is one of these domains which will help you predict the future, right? Now, simply all of you all open your phones and say, hey Google, hey Siri, whatever phone you have, say, what is the weather like tomorrow? How do you know? How does your phone know what the weather is like tomorrow? Tomorrow hasn't come yet, right? This is where again data science, it will do two things for you. One thing is it will take all the data and analyze what happened in the past and talk about the present. There is another side of data science here, and this is a fantastic one. It will not only tell you where things might have gone wrong in the past, but it will also tell you what happens in the future as well. So the prediction part of the future, that is where data science is fantastic. This is the only domain, right? Whenever you think about machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, everything comes under the domain of data science itself. So if there is something that says, hey, can you use computers to predict what happens in the future, which domain do you think is being used there, right? Data science. This is the reason that thousands and thousands of companies across the globe want to have data science in their arsenal as well, right? Perfect. Now, you might have a question at this moment of time saying, okay, so we learned a bit about why we should learn Python, we understood a bit about data science, but where does Python fit into the picture of data science exactly, right? Well, the images that you see on your screen right now is the almost the entire process, the entire architecture of what data science is, right? Everything from data acquisition, data pre-processing, machine learning, visualization, and the actual result itself, right? So these are 5 processes which are really huge on their own. You will usually have experts who will big data engineers are for data acquisition, you'll have data analysts for data pre-processing and data engineers as well. For machine learning, you have machine learning engineers. For data visualization and all of this, you have business intelligence analysts, and to drive key insights and understand to use it, you of course have data scientists to know how best to use it, right? Now, all of these guys that I just mentioned, data science is used in acquisition, yes, in pre-processing, yes, in machine learning, yes, visualization, yes, driving key insight, yes. Now, if you're very surprised of me just saying yes, saying Python is used everywhere, I will practically show you this in 5 minutes from now. When we go on to check these things practically, when you're checking out Python code, you will realize that Python in the entire data science architecture, it can do everything that is asked of it. That is how fantastic this programming language is, right? Okay, nice to see all of your favorite TV shows on Netflix. That's really good, guys. Aditya Karwar says how data science is different from machine learning. Well, Aditya, we have a video, on the channel where we have exactly compared. In fact, I myself made the video. It's a fantastic comparison between data science and machine learning. Please make sure you watch that. It's on the channel. If you open up the channel, the videos in our channel, you'll find it. I'm sure the person managing the chat will also give you a link to my data science versus machine learning video as well. Right? Perfect. Now, alright, while you guys go on to put more questions, I want to tell you about one interesting thing about Python is that no matter which role, as I just mentioned, right, a data scientist will use Python, a data analyst will use Python, a data engineer or a big data engineer will use Python, a business intelligence analyst who's working in the domain of data science will also use Python. So these are literally the top roles that you can have in data science, right? Fantastic salary trends, amazing salaries in all of these domains. And guess what is the common thing in all of these salary domains, right? First of all, it's all working towards data science. The most fantastic reason is, again, every single role that you see on your screen right now, you require Python for this, right? That is literally how important Python is. Okay guys, now we definitely have to talk about what are some of these libraries that are present in the Python programming language that will ensure that you guys can use Python in a way where you can solve problems like this in the domain of data science, right? So let's quickly check out some of these packages that are present. Well, first of all, I think when you're taking a look at the data science libraries, 2 important packages come into the picture, which is Numpy and pandas. Numpy is a fantastic library in Python which is used for numerical computation. Whenever you have to handle your data in the form of a matrix, one-dimensional matrix, two-dimensional matrix, and all of that, Numpy is beautiful. And then when you're taking a look at statistical computation, whenever you're taking a look at handling applied mathematics, whenever you're taking a look at using data frames and using the series data structure, the beautiful library pandas is going to be your best friend here, right? So without NumPy and pandas, in my opinion, it would be really difficult to go on to solve data science stuff in an easy way. But thank God we have these libraries, and I'm going to show all these things practically. You will realize, okay, wow, one line of code, your entire data set will be imported and all of that. So we're going to check all of these out practically as well, right? Now, NumPy and pandas are only one part of the Python package. When you take a look at actually using the most powerful solutions of data science, which is what? Machine learning, deep learning, and what else? It is also artificial intelligence, right? So these three libraries you see on your screen right now are the reasons for that as well. TensorFlow is by the developers at Google, PyTorch is created by the developers at Facebook, and we have scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is extremely popular for machine learning, while TensorFlow and PyTorch are super efficient and popular for the cases of neural networks, for the cases of deep learning and more, right? Without these things, without these libraries, again, it would be very tough for us to learn. But now, once you understand what happens with the case of NumPy, pandas, TensorFlow, PyTorch and all of that, these are all the analytical side of things. These are all the things that you use to solve the problem. But once you have the problem solved, you usually see that in a data science solution, at the end, there are beautiful looking graphs which are given out. There's visualization, there's reports, there's charts, there's so many things, right? These libraries you see on your screen right now are the reasons for that. Matplotlib and Seaborn are two wonderful data visualization libraries that are present in Python that you guys can go on to use. These are all really easy to use, and whenever you feel like, hey, you know what, data science and Python might be really difficult, at the end of the session, we have already covered the agenda of it. We are trying to understand how best we can go on to use Python, how you guys can learn Python in terms of the domain of data science, right? Yes, guys, all of you all who are typing in points about data science used in biotechnology, mechanical engineering, all of you are absolutely correct. Vaidik Parvel says, is Python basics and libraries enough for data analyst? Well, Vaidik, these basics are literally what you use to go on to provide a customized solution, right? That is where I spoke about the logic building, the logic building skill, and that is, and with that, you definitely can go on to solve problems in the cases of data analysis, right? Be it exploratory data analysis, be it data analytics in a way where you're using data to predict the future, all of that is possible. Prasanjit Patra has a question. Sir, I'm first year a BTech student. Can I learn data science? Well, Prasanjit, thank you so much for tuning into this session. Absolutely. You can go on to learn. In fact, I would say that it's the right time for you to get started with it. By the time you would finish your BTech course, you will come out to being almost an intermediate user or an expert, depending on how much time you go on to put there, right? Perfect. Shavik says, use of Python in Indian cricket, any links? Well, Shavik, I have a session in the next week where we are going to be discussing about an IPL data set. We're going to see a lot of things. We're going to perform data analysis on IPL. IPL is the Indian Premier League that is going on. Make sure you tune in next week as well, because there I am taking an entire IPL data set, and throughout the session we're going to be practically checking out a lot about the Indian Premier League, right? Perfect. Wajid Ali says, what is Matplotlib? Well, Matplotlib is a beautiful data visualization library that is present in Python. Right, guys. Perfect. Now, coming on to the place where we go on to check out a demo, we can go on to check this out practically. Let me quickly connect to the runtime. So what you see on your screen right now is Google Colab. Google Colab is basically a Python Jupyter notebook that is hosted on the Google Cloud platform. What I mean by that, it is a place where you simply can type in your Python code and hit enter, and your Python code executes without you having to install any of it on your computer, right? So whenever you're traveling or whenever you're doing anything, you can just start writing Python code and start executing it anywhere you want, right? Perfect, guys. Now this is a fantastic demo. I am sure all of you all will be excited to know more and to understand about what this demo is about itself, right? Perfect. Now let's quickly begin, guys. Let me zoom in a little so that all of you all can see it better. So the first step whenever you're trying to solve any sort of problems with the case of data science, or you're trying to use a data set to solve a problem, the first step is always to import all the libraries so that later you don't have to keep doing it again and again. So we are importing Numpy, pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, scikit-learn. You saw this, right? So we discussed all of these libraries to be the ones that are helping the field of data science, and right now we have imported all of these libraries to ensure that we can go on to work with it in a simple fashion. Now, what are we trying to solve here? What is the problem that we're trying to solve here? Well, let me quickly import our data set itself so that in the meantime I can go on to explain. Now, across the world, I am sure you're already aware of the term called diabetes, right? Diabetes is again where your body cannot maintain its level of insulin, so you have to take in tablets, you have to control your blood sugar and all of that. But can we use data science to analyze about what are all the factors that have a direct correlation to what diabetes is, right? So we're going to be using machine learning to see if our machine learning model can predict diabetes based upon a lot of features as well. But then before we do that, we have to import our data set. As I told you, right, it's really simple in Python to import a data set. It is just one line of code, and half of the line of the code is also just the location of where the data set is itself. Perfect. Now, once you import the data set, the next thing that we are going to have to do is we have to view what the data set looks like so that I can explain to you all, right? Yes. Now let's take a look at this. First of all, when you say a person has diabetes or not, you take a look at a lot of things: the blood glucose level, the blood pressure level, skin thickness, body mass index if the person is underweight, overweight, obese and all of that. Next, you take a look at the age of the person, right? Age is very much important, and if the person is a female, you also take a look at the pregnancies as well, because sometimes that can also lead to the onset of diabetes. So it's not only just glucose which will have a lot of impact on diabetes. Your BP, your skin thickness, your obesity, your insulin levels, your age also has such a huge factor to play, right? So look at this on the right. There is a column which says outcome. When you see the outcome as 1, it means that the data of this particular person that we're seeing, this is a person who's 50 years old, who has a glucose of 148. The person has 6 kids, blood pressure is 72, skin thickness is 35. So this person, right, you can see the body mass index is usually 25 if a person is fit. Anything about 28 is considered to be obese, right? So this person definitely has diabetes, right? And then when the outcome is 0, it means that this person does not have diabetes as well. So we have a lot of data. I just printed out the first 5 rows for you. But if we take a look at how much data we have, first of all, you have to understand these are the columns, right? Pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin. We just checked all of this out here. I'm just printing it out again using the column function to make sure you guys know what we're talking about. Next, let's take a look at how we can go on to check how many patient data do we have. We have patients data which is somewhere around 768 patients right now. So we have the details of 768 patients in terms of pregnancy, glucose, blood pressure, all the way to knowing even if they have diabetes or not, right? So we already know that they have diabetes or not, but we want our machine learning algorithm to understand it and give us a prediction based on that as well, right? So let's quickly take a look at some statistics of what our data set looks like. The first part which is count is basically telling us, hey, you know what, these are the number of data items that you have. As I told you, we have 768 patient data here. So of course you're gonna have 768 details in terms of glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness and all of that. The mean value talks about the average value. So the average glucose level of all the 768 people is somewhere around 120. The average BP is somewhere around 69. The average body mass index is somewhere around 31, right? So you can see this. If the average of 768 people is 31 in terms of BMI, there's a good chance that these people can be a little overweight or obese as well, right? The other details that you see on your screen right now are statistical descriptions. For example, this talks about the standard deviation, the minimum value, maximum value, and these percentage numbers you see, these are what we call as quartile ranges. Minimum to 25 is first quartile, 25 to 50% is the second quartile, 50 to 75 third quartile, 75 to max is the fourth quartile. Now, if you do not know what quartile means, interquartile range, it is absolutely fine at this moment of time. So I'm basically trying to use this demo to showcase how easy it is, right? See, I just wrote one line of code. I am nowhere writing tens of hundreds of lines of code. It is all just single line of code, and I'm doing so much with just single lines of code, right? That's my point here. Now, we also checked out the data science architecture where I told you about data ingestion, pre-processing and all of that. Look, we are pre-processing, we're checking out if there are any sort of empty values in our data set, and I'm doing all of this by using one function called as isNA, and I'm just trying to find out if it is there or not, right? So with pre-processing, I have 768 patient data. I just want to see if there is any data which is empty, which is not present, which is not entered, right? In this particular case, if any of these were true, it means that, hey, that patient is missing that data. Since all of this says false, what it basically says is, hey, you have 768 patient data, and guess what? All the data elements for all of your patients are perfect, so you can go ahead with understanding the data later using machine learning or whatever is needed, right? Perfect. Now again, I did this by just one line of code. The next thing we're going to take a look at is something called correlation. Correlation basically tells us practically about, let me zoom out a little, it tells us about which feature has a say in terms of diabetes, right? If the color is very light enough, you will see that that particular feature will have a lot to do with diabetes. For example, let me pick up something such as age, right? Now, age and pregnancies are directly correlated. And it's not just this, age and glucose, age and blood pressure are also slightly related, but age and skin thickness are not related, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that if a person hits 30 years old, they have to become overweight or anything like that, right? Nothing like that. So that's the reason it is in a darker color. Darker color, if you take a look on the legend on your right side, it'll say it's almost zero. It means that there is absolutely no relation between a person's age and a person's skin thickness as well, right? But if you take a look at all the diagonal elements, it's all absolutely white. White means this is 100% related to the other. You know why it is 100%? I'll explain. Take a look at glucose, for example, here, right? Do you see this? Glucose has this white box here which says 100% correlation. What is on the x-axis? There it is glucose as well. So glucose and glucose are the same thing. When you compare it, of course, it's going to be 100% same. Similarly, pregnancies and pregnancies, blood pressure and blood pressure, BMI. So if I take, I'll show you one more example. Age and age, right? So look, age, where is it white? It's white here. It means 100% correlation. If I take a look at it below, it says again age. So that's the reason about this, right? So guys, at this moment of time, if you cannot completely read or understand a correlation graph, it's fine. It's actually very simple to understand. It's basically talking about the relationship between features which lead to the outcome, right? So it's just a beautiful way to print it with different colors so that as soon as we look at it, we know what variable or what feature has a very important say on the other one as well. Perfect, right? Again, this is what, 3-4 lines of code and we have an entire correlation matrix put. This is the power of Python, right? Next, with the 768 people, the question that you guys are supposed to ask me right now is how many people have no diabetes and how many people have diabetes, right? Now, in the 768 people that we have 500 people who do not have diabetes, but we also have 268, which means that the remaining 268 people have diabetes, right? Look, I just used almost very similar pieces of code to just print it out to say, we know all the data exists. So wherever outcome is 0, it means that the person does not have diabetes. Wherever the outcome is 1, it means the person has diabetes, right? So in our case, 500 people don't have diabetes, 268 people have diabetes. Let me quickly plot a graph for you all to showcase this, right? If the outcome is 0, no diabetes, right? 500 people. If the outcome is 1, it means the people have diabetes. So majority of the people in our data set do not have diabetes at this moment of time. Perfect. The next thing that we're going to take a look at this moment of time is to understand one thing. Whenever you're using machine learning in the case of data science, right, you might think that, oh, it might take 50-60 lines of code to perform machine learning, but machine learning is performed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. It is just 6 lines. In fact, the actual machine learning, the learning process of machine learning happens in these 2 lines, right? It's only 2 lines. But then to check if our machine can learn anything or not, it is like you taking an exam in your college, right? You will learn using the textbook, then later you'll close the textbook, keep it at your home, go to college, write an exam, and then the faculty or the instructor will understand that, hey, they will evaluate you based on your performance. Similarly, to do that, we have one data set right now. If I just give everything to it, it will say, okay, I know everything. But to teach the machine, to make sure it understands and it can have the ability to predict something, we have to split the data set into testing and training data set. Training data set is given for the machine learning algorithm to learn, like a textbook for you guys for your exams. And after it learns, the remaining part of the data is like the questions that are meant for your examinations, right? That will be given to the machine learning to see if it can answer questions or not. In this particular case, it will not be directly giving us an answer or not. It's going to be giving us an accuracy of how well it can predict if a person has diabetes or not, right? So just with this 3 lines of code, I am just splitting the data set. 80% of our data set is going for training, 20% of our data set is going for testing, all in 3 lines of code, right? After the data set is split, the next step is pretty straightforward. All I have to do is use logistic regression. Logistic regression is a fantastic form of supervised learning algorithms in machine learning. If you do not know what supervised learning algorithms are, again, we have multiple videos on the Great Learning YouTube channel that you guys can watch on that, right? Perfect. See, this is the entire process of machine learning, guys. We have given the training data for our machine learning algorithm, and as soon as I hit that play button, it has learned. It now knows everything there is to know about our diabetes data set. So how do I know that my machine learning algorithm knows? All I have to do is I have to give it the testing data. I have to give it a little exam. I have to give it a little test, right? 1 line of code, I will now give a test to it, and I can understand if it knows anything or not. Perfect. Now I've already given the test. I have to print an accuracy score. Before we do that, there's something called, again, data science and statistics are 2 domains which are intertwined together, right? Applied statistics is used a lot. In this case, this matrix that you see right now on your screen, it's called as a confusion matrix. It will print you values regarding true positive values, false positive, true negative, false negative values. So these are the 4 values that you see on your screen right now. Now don't worry, I won't go into the depth of it to explain what a confusion matrix is, how it works, or what it is that you have to know about it. But I'm just showing you that, hey, it's 2 lines of code which will definitely, in fact, this can be made into 1 line of code that will just print you the confusion matrix, right? So these are basically telling us how accurately the machine is able to predict the values versus what is the exact thing that is already present, right? It's not just playing a random guessing game. It is actually using data to analyze, right? Perfect. Now guys, if I go on to print the accuracy score, our machine learning model learned in such a way, in a fascinating way, that 75% it is right. Every time out of 100 patients data, for 75 patient data, it can accurately take a look at the pregnancy values, glucose, BP, body mass index, all of these values, and say this person has diabetes or not. So a 75% accuracy is really good, right? So this is not me just telling, hey, this person has diabetes or not. This is my machine learning algorithm using data science telling me that, hey, I have 75% accuracy. So every time you give me 100 patient data, out of those 75 I can accurately say, just by looking at all the other parameters, if the person has diabetes or not. How cool is that? Just think about it for a moment, right? Now we did a lot of things in this particular data set, but if you see, the outputs are really long and our code is very much less. Let me just try to clear all the outputs for a second here, and you will see that, right? I've zoomed out just to show you all the code. Look at this. We are nowhere writing hundreds of lines of code to solve something in a simple fashion for data science, right? It's 1 line of code to import the data set, 1 line to take a look at it, another line of code to describe the data set in terms of statistics, to find out the details, 1 more line of code, pre-processing to check if we have any empty values or not, 1 line of code, to print the correlation matrix, another 4-5 lines of code, and then a couple of lines of code to print if the people have diabetes or not. The logic for this, even though the code looks a little long, is very simple. Go to the column where it says outcome 0 or 1. Find out how many people have the outcome as 0. What does that mean? Those guys don't have diabetes. Just add and give me a number. Similarly, do that for 1. You have the people with diabetes as well, right? Again, 2 lines of code to print out that beautiful graph that I just showed you. And again, to set your machine learning model to train, you have to split the data into testing and training, as I mentioned. Again, 2 lines of code to actually train the machine learning, the stage where the machine learns. 2 lines of code. When we are performing prediction to see if it has learned anything or not, 1 line of code. Printing a confusion matrix, 1 line of code. Printing the final accuracy score, 1 line of code, right? I think we all in all, we might have taken a look at 20-25 lines of code, and literally with just writing 20 or 25 lines of code, we have an entire algorithm here. We have a machine learning algorithm which is intelligent enough by using data science, by using all the libraries we have in Python that we discussed previously to help us solve a problem, right? So the goal of this demo was to not explain what each and every line does to you, but to showcase to you guys that saying, hey, it does not take a lot of code to have a large impact in the world of data science. This everything that you saw on your screen right now, this is the reason why people want Python. This is the reason why people want Python for data science. This is the reason why data science is so popular. And at the end of the day, this is a very small solution that I just showed you. If you are discussing an industry level use case, there as well, Python will it'll just simplify your entire process of solving the problem. So you can spend your time on logic, you can spend your time thinking out of the box, you can spend your time actually solving the problem rather than breaking your head about how complex it is, how difficult it is to use a programming language, right? So with this, I hope we can go on to answer that question as well, right guys? With that, perfect. I am sure you are also curious now, saying, okay, so we know why we have to learn data science, we know what data science is, we know Python, we saw a little bit of code where we understood a fantastic machine learning algorithm using Python as well, but you will have a question saying, okay, so where can I learn things further, right? A very important thing that I want to tell you about learning further on this is that data science is really a huge domain. If you guys do not have a structured way of learning data science, guys, it will become very difficult, right? It's almost like me taking you in a boat in the middle of the ocean and dropping you there, right? We don't want that to happen, because in that particular case, if you do not know how to learn, where to learn from, what to learn, what not to learn, it is very easy to get confused. Right now, if you go to Google and type learn data science like this, before I did that, you would have had millions of results, right? That's an advantage. You have a lot of content to learn, but if you do not know how to use the content to learn, it can get very difficult, guys. So my advice to you all at this moment of time is to keep your learning structured, take it slow. And I told you, right, the advantage of subscribing to our channel is one of these things. The third point you see on your screen right now, you get to talk with industry experts such as me. I am a subject matter expert in data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural network, and all of these things. So whenever you go on to talk to us, we can not only give you the highest quality of learning material from our side possible, but also we can align your learning with what is required in the industry. So it's not like you're learning one thing, but when you go to the job interviews, they're asking you something else. No, whenever you learn with us at Great Learning, and it's just not about me, but all the other subject matter experts as well, we make sure that your learning is, first of all, it has the highest quality of learning material possible, and secondly, we make sure to align your learning with exactly what is needed for you to change your job, find a job, learn more about it, research, whatever it is, right? Perfect. So one question you guys might have right now saying, okay, so where can I find more free content on data science on the Great Learning ecosystem, right? Perfect. You guys definitely should go on to Great Learning Academy. Great Learning Academy is a fantastic place. We are offering 200 plus courses absolutely free of cost. As soon as you complete those courses, you also get a certificate of completion. Again, totally free, right? So I want all of you all to go on to enroll into Great Learning Academy. For all the people in the comment section where you guys were asking saying, hey, can I have the session in some other language? Guess what? In Great Learning Academy and also on the Great Learning YouTube channel, we have courses and videos which are taught in English, Hindi, and of course many languages as well. So make sure you guys are checking that out. And of course, guys, with this, I really have to tell you all, right? We have 103 people watching this session. Thank you so much for tuning into this session, but it is very important right now, guys, that you subscribe to the Great Learning YouTube channel, right? As soon as you hit that subscribe, there are numerous advantages. As soon as we put out a video, you guys will be the first ones to watch it. And whenever we have these live sessions, right, look at the comment section yourself, guys. There is so many people. I am very sure, I am positive that you guys learned a lot about Python, learned a lot about data science, and you've been putting down your questions. I've been answering your questions as as well, right? So this is extremely important for all of you all. But to get to here, I definitely recommend, guys. In fact, I want all of you all to subscribe to the Great Learning YouTube channel to showcase your support to the channel, and of course it will also help you. Main thing is that it will help you have the highest quality of learning material for you guys to learn, right? Perfect, guys. After this, I am sure you guys are curious about another fact, saying okay, all the free content, right, anywhere, not only Great Learning, everywhere else also maybe, so it will take you from being a beginner to maybe being an intermediate user or an intermediate learner. But what should you do if you guys should go from complete beginners to thorough experts, right? Like having a degree, for example, or finishing a post-graduation program. In fact, we here at Great Learning have multiple specialization and post-graduation offerings for you guys, and all of these courses that you see, post-graduation program in data science and business analytics, PG program in data science and engineering, MTech, MS in data science, right? So all of these programs that you see, these are done in with collaboration with some of the most fantastic universities around the world out there, even Ivy League schools. Texas McComb's Business School is a part of University of Texas at Austin. You can see we have a program with Northwestern University. Again, in other domains as well, we are tied up with multiple colleges, including Stanford as well, right? So you guys know that Stanford is an Ivy League school. So let me quickly take a second of your time to guide you about how you guys can work towards these specialization courses. Now, this is the Great Learning Academy page, guys. I want all of you all to first ensure that you create an account and sign up here. After this, if I click on the career transformation programs, you guys will see that we have multiple courses here for all of you all, right? Since we're discussing about data science, let me open up one of the most important programs for all of you all that you guys definitely should consider if you're looking towards post-graduation in data science. This is India's #1 course for post-graduation program in data science and business analytics, guys. This is 11 months program, completely done online. As I told you, this is India's #1 program, done in collaboration with University of Texas at Austin, a fantastic university, and of course also Great Lakes Executive Learning as well. I won't talk to you about the program in detail because I want all of you all to go here and check it out. I am sure that the person moderating this chat will go on to put a link to this particular course in the comment section now, so you guys can click on it and watch along as well, right? First of all, this is a comprehensively put together curriculum, guys. In 11 months, you guys will go from being beginners all the way to experts. You get job assistance, you get 1:1 mentorship, you get online learning. We've had 7,000 plus alumni. After they've taken this course, they've gotten a salary hike of over 50%, right? And you have a job opportunity here as well, because we share your profile with somewhere around 350 partnered companies and much more. You can see let me just quickly showcase the certificate that you guys get. This is a certificate you get from this PG program. You can see that it's a certificate from the University of Texas at Austin, right? And it's not just one certificate you get, you also get 2 certificates, one more certificate from Great Lakes Executive Learning. So this certificate itself is going to just impress all the interviewers out there, because they know that if you've completed these programs, you guys will have thorough knowledge on the domain, right? If you take a look at the curriculum is designed by collaboration by all the faculty at Great Lakes and University of Texas Austin McComb School of Business. These are taught, for example, let me just quickly talk to you about the course curriculum itself, right? Everything from data science foundations, techniques, domain exposure, visualization, everything until you get to the project. All of these is created by keeping all of your learners in mind. We are trying to ensure that you get the highest quality of learning material, and over 11 months you will be working on multiple projects, multiple quizzes. You will be taught by leading experts, guys. These are some of the academicians, these are the faculties who will be teaching you on this particular program. These guys are thorough experts. These guys are leading in the industry for this, right? And then of course, since we are a mentor based this is a program which is again you should realize that it's not only just the faculties who will have a lot of impact on your learning, but it's also the mentors, right? As you can see on your screen, we have amazing mentors here. These guys are again really good at what they do, and with the help of these mentors, you guys will be working on projects, your final capstone project as well, right? The one that you might put on your resume, the one that showcases to the world that hey, hey, I have solved a real world use case and I'm ready for the industry, I'm ready to take on a job, this is a fantastic thing to know. And then of course you get career assistance in terms of resume building, mock interviews, 1:1 mentorships, career fairs, and lot, right? So you get expert guidance throughout this, guys. You can find out more about this in the page. You will have a lot of details about how you guys can get access to exclusive recruitment drives, access to curated jobs, interview preparation material, career mentorship, and a lot more as well, guys. But then to get to this point of time, you guys have to understand that this is not just a video that you might watch to become an expert. This is an 11-month program which is completely in detail. It is completely online. You get 225 plus hours of online learning content, dedicated career support, 17 real world project that you guys will be working on. And guys, there is so much more, right? If we go on to talk about it, I can just keep telling you all the huge number of advantages that we have here as well, right? But then guys, there is an admission process for you in case if you guys are looking forward to enroll into this. There is a simple process. You can find it on the link, so make sure you guys are checking this out. As I told you, this program is completely online. I'm sure you guys will have more questions. We have a completely in detail put together FAQ section where you can find out all the questions you might have and the answers to those questions as well, guys. Perfect. With this, make sure you guys, if you have any sort of questions about which program you should pick up, any sort of questions about, hey, is this program right for me, any questions about which career path should you take, how should you get there, which program from Great Learning will help you there, and why you definitely should take a look at Great Learning for all of these specialization and PG programs, just put down your name, email, mobile number, and your work experience. We will have an expert who will be calling you from our admissions office. You'll just get a call within the next 4 hours as soon as you put down your details here. And guys, with this, as I told you, you can go from being a complete beginner all the way to becoming a thorough expert in the field of data science. So make sure you guys just put down your details in the box that I just showed you, right? Perfect. So let me quickly pick up 1 or 2 questions and let me just quickly go ahead and conclude it. Motivation Within says this channel should get 100 million likes for sharing free education. Well, Motivation Within, thank you so much for your kind word. It absolutely means a lot to us. Thank you so much for tuning into this session as well. Yes, we are trying to grow out the channel. We are ensuring to do everything from our side to give you guys more learning content. But with that, you guys definitely have to showcase your support to us as well. You can show us your support by subscribing to the Great Learning YouTube channel, liking this video as well, right? Innocent has a question saying from Pakistan can get admission in PG program in data science. Innocent, no matter where you are in the entire world today, if you're a person who is willing to learn, you have access to everything we have here at Great Learning, right? Everything, regardless of where you are, what race, what background, absolutely nothing like that. So everyone, our goal is to make sure we get the highest quality of learning material, be it in our free programs, be it in our PG programs, whatever it is. We ensure to provide the highest quality of learning material to everyone on the globe right now. So no matter where you're tuning in from, you have access to everything. Please put down your details in the box that I just showed you on the page of the course so that our experts can contact you, right? Perfect. So yes, Innocent, I hope you have the answer to that. No matter where you are tuning in from, you will have access to our programs, right? Perfect, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this particular course. We checked out a lot of things, from everything from why you should learn Python, why Python is popular, Python for data science. We understood what are the skills that are required by you guys to learn Python for data science. We checked out some of the top libraries in Python. I gave you guys a hands-on demo to showcase how simple, how elegant, how fantastic Python is, for the concepts of either machine learning, data science, whatever it is. And of course, at the end of it, I also guided you about how you guys can become thorough experts in data science as well, right? So I hope this session was of help for you all. If it was, do take a second to like the video and of course show us your support through subscribing to the channel, right? Perfect, guys. On this note, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for tuning in. The COVID-19 pandemic has not yet ended, so make sure that you guys are wearing your masks, maintaining social distancing, and doing everything that's required to stay safe. Since we're all working from home, since we're all learning from home, it is very important that now, looking at how the job trends are going, you guys definitely need to go on to work on data science, Python, or any of your favorite domains, because at the end of the pandemic, the job market is going to boom, and it's already booming from 2020, as you saw for right now, right? So this is the perfect time to learn, perfect time to upskill, and perfect time to go on and get the job or the career of your dreams, right guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anirudh Rao. I'll see you on another session here at Great Learning, right? Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day ahead. Cheers guys.